You wait. I wanna see you. Girl, if you can find, hold on by your man and give him the gargling. Hold on by your man and give him the good loving. Hold on by your man and give him the walk. Girl, if you can find, hold on by your man and give him the gargling. Hold on by your man and give him the good loving. Hold on by your man and give him the walk.
Like it, Bosh. Shout out, big shout out to DJ Warlock. I really like that song. That song came out back in Carnival. Enjoyed it ever since then. Technical difficulties, I have no control. Whatever happens, happens. The show must go on. Nana said you got to do what you got to do. I talked to Nana yesterday. There's a lot of news that I want to report on, but I posted so much on social media yesterday since I had the day off that I think I overwhelmed myself with information. I did a whole lot of reading. One of the things that I would like to speak on, other than last night, who woke up at 3:18 in the morning because that thunder hit like we were in down south. I felt like I was in Alabama again. It woke me up out my sleep. It was horrible. That thunder was so loud, and I feel like it was right over my house, like inside the house, rumbled, shook, and then those raindrops weren't even raindrops. It was like a sleet of water, like it was that. If you've never been down south, that's that down south weather. And then directly across the street will be sunshine and no rain. And then after the rain's gone, there is literally a line down the middle of the street where one side of the street got rain and the other one didn't. It blew my mind. But if you're a Southerner, you've ever been to the South, have family that lives in the South, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you, all right. So we were at 12% on Monday. We were at 35% yesterday. I'm feeling a good 55, maybe 60. We still got antibiotics in the system. I still sound like a snorkel, and I still look like a fiend. Just being honest. Let's be transparent. I do. I look horrible. I apologize, YouTube. But I have a face for radio right now. In other news, I had a long conversation with Nana yesterday, and we're going through the motions of a family issue. We'll just leave it like that. And she said, well, baby, you can't be ugly. And what she means by that is no matter how bad somebody else may have treated you, that is not a reason for you to mistreat them. And in my head, I'm like, that's not logic, because the Bible said an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You slap me, I slap you back. And she said, you can't be ugly. You got to do the best that you can do. And you just got to treat people the way that you would have them treat you. But remember, I go back to Jane Elliott talking about the platinum rule, not the golden rule, but the platinum rule. Not about treating others the way that you would have them treat you, but treating others the way that you would. I forgot. I'm not even gonna lie, I forgot. I feel like Kanye, I forgot my lines. But treating people, because the way that I want to be treated may not be how you want to be treated. So treat people the way that they want to be treated if you were them, in a sense. And you know what? She tells me all the time that she's still learning and she's still growing. She's in her 70s, and that ain't stopping her from learning. That's not stopping her from growing. That's not stopping her from reflecting upon years past and things that have happened in her lifetime. Tayla, it's not Motivational Monday, but it is. It is. Because all of us are dealing with something from our past, something that we're not ready, willing, and able to face, something that we're not mature enough to accept. And I can say that, transparency. There are things that we are not willing to accept. We haven't accepted. It's scary for us to accept. And I just want to tell you that you're not the only one. I don't care if you're 19. I don't care if you're 99. And every number in between. There's something that is in your life that is scary for you to accept the truth on. And for me, for the longest time, my wake-up call, my realization, and I swear, like, I have midlife crises probably once every 3 to 6 months. I never thought that the title of a baby mama would be my statistical name. Being a statistic was always a fear for me. That statistic of being a dropout, that statistic of not being a college graduate, that statistic of being a young mother, a teen mother, that statistic of being a statistic alone, just being somebody's number, someone's data. It bothered me. And not to say that I've come full circle and grasped it, but the more I have conversations with my elders, the more I understand that what I feel right now isn't a struggle. What I'm going through right now isn't a struggle. What I feel is a struggle is not a struggle. Baby, you don't know what a struggle is until you have some conversations with some of your elders. And if you don't have elders in your life, please believe that there is a nursing home by you that has a building full of elders that is looking for a young person to talk to. That brings me back to where the city officials at, because I really think that we need to open a daycare center with a whole bunch of elders. That puts the elders feeling like they have something to give, giving the elders some love and care. Maybe their families don't visit them enough, and it gives these children some guidance for these misguided parents to put and instill some morals, values, and common sense into these babies. I'm gonna just open a damn daycare center, because they said parents, single moms, moms in a two-parent household, a lot of these moms ain't even going to work because it's taken away from the daddy's income. It's cheaper for mom to stay home, because with her working, most 75% of her income is already gone paying daycare. Well, I'm finna open a daycare. I don't really like kids though. How about I open the daycare, you work at the daycare? Because I like the kids I have. But if I can make a better choice, shoot. Narina already knows my mama don't play with children. 617-282-0062. Good rising. Callie, you live.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, you.
I said I was going to call you. If you feel some kind of way about being a statistic, how do you think they're slaves about being property?
You're absolutely right, Miss G.
So let that get by you, pass by you, and just live with the reality that we all are something to somebody.
Okay, then. Well, I thank you for that encouragement. We all need it.
And as far as kids are concerned, I learn something every day. I'm an elder. I learn something every day. I love kids.
You know, I love their spirit, but I don't have patience, Miss G. I'm just going to be honest. I don't have patience. And when it comes to children, if I talk to you and you listen, I can deal with you. But if you one of them children that I have to put hands on, I can't deal with you, because it's going to be me or you. We're going to be in the streets fighting. I can't deal with a bad child. And I have in the past put my hands on one of my friend's children, and it didn't go well for our friendship. But at the same time, it didn't go well for that child either, because you need to have a little bit more sense and a whole lot more respect. And I was raised a certain way when it comes to children, and I still have those values and beliefs instilled in me. There's a lot of things that I'm very laxed on. But when it comes to like respect and listening when being spoken to, those things I don't play about.
Okay. Listen, you were a child one time.
And I got my head knocked off my shoulders. Listen, I was one of them children that you saw me, but you didn't hear me. I was in the corner somewhere waiting to be spoken to. I had my head knocked off my shoulders on a regular basis.
So with that, I say the difficult children are the ones that turn out to be like me and you. They eventually end up speaking out.
You know what? That's true. That's probably why I talk so much now, huh?
Oh, I used to internalize things a lot. And I'm the person now that if you voice your opinion, I feel like I have the right to respond to it.
Absolutely. I got you, Miss G.
What you doing?
I love you, baby. I can't wait to meet you.
Okay, have a good day.
You as well. 617-282-0062. Let me get off this soapbox. I apologize. It's been a while since I stood on the soapbox, but that's how I feel. I really do. I really feel like we need to go ahead and pair these youngsters with these elders. Maybe we could save some money somewhere in between and raise a generation of respectable, common sense, pull up your pants type children. I want to give a huge shout out to Jamal Crawford, my brother. my brother, in my Denzel voice. Jamal Crawford posted 17 hours ago on Facebook the same Boston NAACP that would not sign into request that the DOJ, Department of Justice, investigate the BPD, Boston Police Department, based on decades of corruption, scandal, drug use, brutality, deaths of civilians, had the nerve and unmitigated gall to actually make a request to the Department of Justice to make a federal case investigation out of a Twitter racism at Boston Latin. Wow. This is the issue you pick after dozens of more important issues that could have been chosen. You choose to ignore. You go ahead and choose the weakest one. You choose the weakest link. Hashtag priorities. Hashtag ego. Hashtag false leadership. Hashtag Michael Curry. Hashtag Boston NAACP 1911. Hashtag Blackstonian. Hashtag Jamal Crawford. Thank you. Thank you for being unapologetically real 24 hours a day, not caring whose feelings you hurt, not caring who you come after. Don't call for me unless I ask for you. And it's ask, because I'm going to ask nicely for you to come. And when you don't, that's when I'm going to call on you. Mitt Romney called on Donald Trump. Mitt Romney did the same thing to Donald Trump that Harry Reid did to him in 2012. Either he's not nearly as wealthy as he say he is, or he hasn't been paying the kind of taxes we would expect him to pay. Hint, 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 hint. AKA, go look at them finances, find out what you can find out about Donald Trump so y'all can go ahead and break him down and tear him into pieces like you tore me into pieces about that 13.5% that I was paying in taxes. Dun, 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 dun. We may have found a winner. Donald Trump then tweeted Mitt Romney, who totally blew an election that should have been won and whose tax returns made him look like a fool, is now playing a tough guy. Yo, if Donald Trump wins, I told you this before, I'm going to tell you again, and Ari told me to save my pennies. Because if Donald Trump wins presidency, Anari said, with or without you, I'm leaving. With or without you, I'm leaving. Damn, Anari, you gonna do me like that? He said, if Donald Trump wins, sure will. We have two callers on the line, 617-282-0062. Baby, I'm trying to get to this news real quick before we get to this power hour. Good rising.
Good rising, Tayla.
Talk to me, Takwa.
Yeah, just real quick. You know, there are some people who talk strong behind closed doors, but walk on eggshells when they get in the public. Jamal Crawford
is not one of them men.
For that shout out to you, Jamal.
Absolutely. I'm glad. That's that public shout out to you. I'm glad he called them out. I'm glad he put them on notice. Like, I'm coming for you. Like, I've been coming for you. He been calling out Michael Curry. Like, what are you really doing? What are you doing? You holding meetings? That's it. It is what it is. Money ain't been it, and I'm in it. This one I'm in. I don't usually sit in on things, but this one I'm in because I was there when Jamal Crawford was at the post office reading down the list of names while the families were there. I was there when Jamal Crawford brought out Channel 5, shout out to them, and a few other channels that came out and recorded it, but where was anybody else? And he went ahead and put out a press release. That's why the press came. He put out a press release. He put everybody on notice. Not one city councilor came. Nobody came to support him. And it's not like he didn't have any truth backing him. He had truth, facts, and family standing behind. Well, actually, they were in front of him, the way that it was set up.
For that, brother, he don't bite his tongue. And, he does his research and presents actual facts.
Amen. Ashe, ashe. Talk about, I love you, right? Good rising, caller, you live.
Good morning, how are you doing?
I'm super fantastic. This line seems to be low. Speak up for me.
Okay, but basically, the situation with the Urban League and NAACP, if you look who founded them, it was white folks. I mean, that was almost like Jewish people having an organization founded by Nazis and think it's going to help them. And those organizations, if you look at the membership, it's 3 groups: house Negroes, homosexuals, and bitter women. You can't win a revolution with that. Black Panthers, organizations like that had strong sisters, strong brothers that were actually feeding children, doing mentoring. The cops and the white establishment killed them. If white people hate them, you can trust them. And white people making donations to them, and from your politicians to your organizations, that white people are investing in it. They're investing in it to fail.
That is Mr. Nubian. I had a few people ask me why I even let you speak, because I'm allowed to speak. And if I'm allowed to speak, everybody's allowed to have a voice. And if you don't agree, 617-282-0062. In other news, really quickly, again, shout out to Media Blackout USA, MediaBlackoutUSA.com. Presents all of the news that we discuss here on air and so much more. I love and appreciate him for everything that he does. The Confederate flag is here to stay, says Mississippi. There were 12 different bills in the Mississippi legislature to either redesign, change, or remove the Confederate symbol from the state's 122-year-old flag, but all died on Tuesday, which was the deadline for lawmakers to act on bills that were stuck in the legislative committees. The bills offered numerous different options for Mississippi's flag. One bill would have changed it to include a magnolia tree, just like the state's flag did in 1861 until 1865. A few bills would have provided a new design submission, either from state universities or from newly created commission to find new design options. One would have even changed the flag back to the Bonnie blue flag, which is also a Confederate-related banner, but less recognizable. I will continue to stand by the view of doing the right thing. Or that's what the flag represented at that time. But none of those bills had majority support from lawmakers in either the State House or the Senate. Republican Rep. Jason White told the Associated Press that I'm not saying that all of them are necessarily bad ideas. We just don't have a consensus on any of them, he said. Long story short, the Confederate flag is to stay in Mississippi because they let all the bills die. And I don't know who has the huevos to go ahead and bring it back. I'm waiting for somebody to bring it back. It is time for Mississippi to embrace a new flag that represents unity and progress, said Sharon Brown, director of the group One Flag for All, which organized the rallies. We can't achieve our social and economic potential as a state when we have a banner that includes a symbol associated with the Civil War that was fought to keep ancestors in slavery and legacy of white supremacy and racism. And if you look at the map, I guarantee you, next to Alabama, Tennessee, I'm sorry, V from Tennessee, Louisiana, and Texas, Mississippi is one of the worst states for public education. Public, not higher, public education. Don't believe me, go read. In other news, a student cannot attend school, according to this report, based on his race. According to reports, a St. Louis mother is in shock after learning her son's skin color will keep him from attending the school of his choice. Edmund Lee is an African-American third grader at Gateway Science Academy, a charter school in South South Louis. His family is moving to the county this year. The state law allows some county residents the opportunity to attend a city charter school, but they must live in the district participating in the transfer program, and he cannot be African American. When she read the guidelines, she was in complete shock. She was crying. The school officials say that their hands are tied because of state regulations decades ago. The rules were designed to address segregation problems. Leaders at Gateway Science Academy believe it's time to revisit some of those rules. It's 2016. Why are we just now revisiting these rules? This is in the handbook. This is in the handbook. This is in the handbook. And I go back. I know people get so angry at me when I'm at stores, or when yesterday, for instance, when I was at the doctor's office and this woman, it frustrates me. When this woman told me that I had to make 2 separate appointments and ruin my life, I'm thinking about a person who does not have the flexibility I have. Somebody who works a 9 to 5, somebody who's making minimum wage, somebody who does not have the ability to tell their boss, I need 2 days off back to back. Because when you think about it, you need an hour off to get to the location. They're saying it's a 2 hour for the procedure that I need to have done. And then it's another hour to get back to work. That's 4 hours. You might as well take a half day or a whole day because you just missed 2 hours from both days, right? She said, well, baby, there's nothing I can do because it's policy. And when I think about, I was like, well, who can override the computer? Oh, nobody. Somebody made that damn computer. Somebody made that software. So somebody can override that process to say this client is going to have this process done in 1 day and not split up 2 days worth of work, 2 days worth of children coming home, going from school. You don't know what people have to do, but you want to sit here and ruin their lives. It made no sense to me. It made absolutely no sense to me. And she was like, well, it's 3 months out. You can't figure it out. Hold up, but pause. but you know what's going on in my life? For me to work it out, I'm thinking about women and parents that work 2 and 3 jobs and don't have a way to figure it out when it comes to them bills. It didn't make common sense to me. And she was like, oh, I just work here. I'm just doing my job. So were the Nazis when they killed the Jews. Because, well, what was the Hindenburg trials? I get it mixed up with the blimp sometimes. Forgive me. But the trials for the Jewish people that were killed during the Holocaust, that was everybody's answer. I was doing my job. I was doing what I was told to do. So even when it doesn't make common sense, we're still doing what we were told to do. When did we become so complacent, so compliant that we just accept? We accept whatever we are told to do. When did we do that? America, home of the brave, land of the free. When did we decide that we weren't going to be brave enough to stand up to the system that are currently in place because it's policy, and policy ain't making sense? So we're going to have to discuss this, because if it doesn't make sense to me, I don't think it's going to make sense to our clients, our customers, those that we serve. I'm sorry, I got on that soapbox again, didn't I? I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I'll go ahead and post this story and so much more on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. I posted so many stories yesterday. My thumb hurts. True story. For those who don't know, that's from Nemo, the little crawfish that was about to be eaten, or shrimp, whatever he was. True story. In other news, really quickly, law enforcement officials and activists testify on police reform bills. This took place in Maryland. Children wearing caution tape. The mayor of Baltimore, law enforcement officials, and HBO actress were among the crowd of people who visited on Tuesday as lawmakers considered several enforcement reform bills. About 280 people signed up to speak in front of the House committee on Tuesday, the large majority to testify about the handful of bills related to police behavior, rights, and responsibilities. You can read this on TaylaAndre.com. Also, in other news, because I really want to get to this really, really quickly. That's what I get over here trying to do soapboxes. Now, this one's a great one. V from Tennessee. Memphis Police Department threatened to demote black cops if they keep complaining about racism. Only in America. Yo, are you serious? The police department threatens to demote me if I complain about racism. Okay, don't call for me unless I come for you. And they just keep coming over and over and over again. And for those who weren't listening yesterday, let me just repeat today that Johnson & Johnson lost a lawsuit, $72 million for the talcum powder leading to ovarian cancer death. You know what? It dawned on me yesterday that my family's been using Johnson & Johnson products damn near their whole life. My grandmother on my mother's side died of ovarian cancer. I think this is something we need to look into. Surely is. Liability and punitive damages and $10 million in compensatory damages. And I love it. I love it. It was said that they went ahead and covered up studies that suggested a link between ovarian cancer and their baby powder. They covered it up. Covered it all the way up. Don't believe me? Go read. And while you're at it, boycott Johnson & Johnson's. With that being said, I'm going to take this caller, and then I believe we have our guest on the line. Good rising, caller, you live.
Good morning, Tayla.
Hi, darling.
Tell him why you mad, son.
Tell him why you mad, son. I'm mad. I'm pissed off.
You know something about the whole doctor's visit thing that you're talking about?
What about it?
You think that's bad? I mean, HMO, we already know that insurance is they don't necessarily cover you unless it's something that's major, like say a major operation or something like that. They wait till something bad gets worse to do something about it. Like if you need, let's just say like you need approval for a certain medication or whatever because you have to, say maintain a certain, dysfunction or whatever. They'll wait till that dysfunction gets even worse, and then when you have to have an operation and then you have to go for the major stuff, and that's when the HMO covers it because they don't make money unless you get really sick. Like medicine, everybody knows that medicine in America, like the medical field in America, is just nothing but money. They profit off your death.
Hallelujah. They profit off your sickness. They don't make no money when you're dead.
They profit off your sickness. That's right. But they wait until you're damn near dying to actually do something about it. And that's exactly how HMO works in America.
You know what? We should have did the history of HMOs. That may have brought us somewhere. But I am frustrated, and it does frustrate because I know we're so much better than this. I know we have some common sense. I know somewhere down the line when they said, listen, we're going to make patients take 2 days off of work to come in. It's an ultrasound. So I need an ultrasound in both my lights. It's an ultrasound. First of all, an ultrasound don't take 2 hours. I had 2 kids. I had plenty of ultrasounds. Some things are 15 seconds long. You squirt a little stuff, you do a little picture, you're done. It don't take that long. For you to tell me that you're going to take 4 hours out of my day for 2 days, that's 8 hours of somebody's paycheck. And there's too many people in Boston with the median income being $74,000 as of 2014, with half of the residents in Boston not making $74,000 that are busting their behinds, working 2 and 3 jobs, trying to make ends meet because rent is so damn high because the damn high. We don't have time for this.
I agree. It's just getting so sad how I think I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
Charging by the hour, but it's just getting so sad how healthcare in America is just getting worse and worse.
Hey, you ready to move? You ready to take this drive? You laughing? Me and Anari are so serious.
Ready? Listen, I have a plane ticket ready. Wherever the destination is, I'm off to.
All right, baby. Love and appreciate you. Hope you have an awesome day. So we've covered a lot Black History Month. Amen. Ashe, ashe. I believe that we have covered an extremely lot as far as topics are concerned, as far as guests is concerned. I hope you guys enjoyed this year's Black History Month. We are slowly but surely coming to an end. And I hope that you feel like we've done a good chunk of learning, of some wisdom, some overstanding, some what did Nana said? In order to get, you have to get some overstanding. I should have stayed my behind in church a little bit longer. I know scripture. I know something. I feel so bad if she's listening right now. She probably right in the face. Like, where did I go wrong? I'm sorry, Nana. I'm sorry. Today is the day that the Lord had made. Kool, Bubba, Ice. You've seen him on HBO. You've seen him on Def Comedy Jam. You've seen him on Comic View, BET. Shout out to him. We are going to talk about the history of comedy this rising. Good morning, my king. How are you? I'm super fantastic. Did I say good morning? I usually say good rising, but I am on medication, so.
Oh, okay, nothing wrong with that. As long as you know you're on medication, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So tell us a little bit about you. So for the people who haven't watched Comic View for a while, because we got some listeners that are under the age of 25 and they know nothing about Comic View.
Yeah, they gotta Google me, so they just go on, YouTube and just Google Kool, Bubba, Ice, and all my stuff will just pop up and just go from there. We had a YouTube page, thank God, so people can see me. If they don't know who I am, they just Google me and they'll find me. Oh, there you go. Well, that's that dude my mom used to watch back. So I know I've been in the game for a long time, so. Yeah, BET Comedy, Def Comedy Jam, when they had comedy on television back then. Those were the good old days. Mm-hmm. So that's probably where you catch me. Probably could see me if you watch A&E, I got a Geico commercial on there too right now.
Hey, shout out to you. That's big.
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Hopefully they paid you. What you mean you didn't know about it?
No, I taped the commercial in November. They aired it a month ago. I didn't even know it was on. My agent just sent me the link like last night. I'm like, are you serious?
Your agent need to send you a check.
Yeah, I got the check already. I just got the check this month, but they've been airing it for a month already.
Okay then.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But the commercial's been up for a month already.
Well, that's good. Ashe to you. As far as comedy is concerned, the history of comedy, let's talk about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Whatever you want to know, I got the whole list on it. I've been doing it for 27 years. I've seen a lot of stuff happen. A lot of stuff.
Well, just tell us, what made you want to get into comedy? Were you the class clown in school?
Well, yeah, I was a class clown in school from like elementary all the way to high school. But what really made me want to do it was actually my father made me want to do comedy. He kind of like he pretty much set the wheels in motion by making me watch all the old school artists. Like he made me watch Abbott and Costello, Three Stooges, and stuff like that. But my father's favorite comedian was Richard Pryor. So anytime a Richard Pryor film came out, we was going to see it. I don't care how much he cut. My father would be busting out laughing and making us taking us to go see a Richard Pryor film. Not his concert movies, but just more like his like his regular film.
For parents today, like parents are gung-ho about letting their children see PG-13 films. Richard Pryor was borderline X rated.
Pretty much. My father kind of had like a little more leeway than my mother. My mother didn't play that, but every now and again she'll slip up and we'll go see an R-rated film or what have you. And whenever it got a little too riled, she'll just cover my eyes up or tell me to cover my eyes up. And little kids, they're going to cover their eyes but have little finger bottles and a little bit of crack so they can see what's going on. So I came up with that kind of household.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. That's balance. And that's exactly what we all need, is that balance with a mother and a father. Hint, hint, baby moms, baby daddies, children need both parents. But as far as the history.
Hold on, wait a minute, correction. Oh, they didn't live together. No. I'm a product of a baby mama. Let's see the father, but I see my father when I could. And my mom, I stayed with my mom. So my mother was like the mother and the father, and then my father popped up, he was the dad. So, I knew who my father was. We've seen each other, not as much as I like, but yeah, I'm a product of that too. But the Transformers, when every time something went wrong, my parents got together, they didn't play that. So that's why I stay out of trouble. I didn't get in trouble in school and stuff like that. My mom didn't play that.
Hold on, I love that. I love that you called them the Transformers.
Yeah, they got together. Whenever I screwed up at anything, they got together and they straightened that out real quick. So they didn't play that. Or they may not have been together, but whenever I got in trouble, they straightened me out real quick. They didn't play that bad.
You know what? Anybody who's listening, who's thinking about creating a parenting book, I just want 10%. Name it Transformers.
Hell yeah, that's what they did. He messing up at school. He doing what? And they straightened that right on.
He made the sound and everything. As far as comedy is concerned, why do you think, or where did comedy originate from? Like, how early can we say, well, this is when comedy started?
Wow, you're taking it way back. You're taking it to like the vaudeville days and stuff. When comedy's kind of been around forever. Before that, when they had comedies that, in England, as far as England, Africa, it's been everywhere. I mean, I really don't know how long comedy's been around. It's pretty much been around forever. We always need to laugh. I'm just no telling where it started from. Where I remember back in the days watching those old films about, the king and the captain. Even the king had a court justice, so whenever he felt bad, he'd get the court justice and make him laugh, and he didn't make him laugh, he got beheaded. So it's been around for a long time.
So that's real? I thought that was only in like Tom and Jerry skits and those old cartoon skits. That was actually a real thing to be beheaded. If you didn't make
the king laughed, yeah, your head was going. So that was the comedy back then was real hard compared to what it is right now. I mean, cats don't even boo you no more. If you're not funny, they'll just stare at you. I started doing comedy in early '89 when you thought, if you wasn't funny, they was going to boo you off stage. They don't even know, comics don't know what it is to get booed off stage and have people throw stuff at you. I remember I was on stage one time, I was like in the beginning of my career, and these cats threw popcorn at me in the bucket. I mean, they were just rude, But that's when comedy was in its early stages. So now it's like, they don't care. They'll just sit there and they'll just start talking now if they don't like it.
Have you ever been booed off stage?
Of course, every comic's been booed off stage. Yeah, that's part of the game. That's your initiation. And all it does is it makes you better. If you go on stage and you rip and tear it down every time, you're going to get comfortable. But you have a bad show, it's going to make you step your game up. Definitely.
You know what? In all honesty, I boo myself off this microphone on a regular basis. Like, boo, that show really sucked. I listened to the show afterwards. I'm like, did you hear where you screwed up? And you're right. People don't judge like we used to because I guess we don't want to be judged ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it happens though. I mean, I think that would make comics a little bit more tougher these days than they are now. That's the problem. It's too much, it's too much being nicey. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do, let them have it. Let them have it, then they know they got to work a little bit harder next go around. That's all. Nothing wrong with that.
We have this thing here where we allow people to either call in or send messages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TaylaAndre. And we have an anonymous from online who asked about, as far as the history of comedy is concerned, could you have Kool Bubba Ice talk about blackface?
Oh, wow. That's vaudeville days right there, and with the blackface and all that type of stuff like that there. We talking maybe 1920s, 30s maybe. There was a famous white comic named Al Jolson. He was known for that blackface mess, and he was made famous for that. So I mean that's what they did back then. They thought that was funny, but we come from a different time. So back then it was like, ooh, it's blackface, he's funny, and he basically did an impersonation of a black man, but he didn't know what he was doing. But you know, he was made famous for that, for the blackface named Al Joseph.
His name is Al Joseph.
Al Joseph.
Al Joseph. And what was actually funny about it? So I've never seen blackface comedy. I've never seen, like, I've never even had a taste for it to even, but I have visited the Civil Rights Museum in Birmingham, Alabama, and it does show a little bit of history as far as when blackface was big, and blackface, you know, basically was the not a motto, but it was like the packaging for many soaps and candy bars and other things. But what do you know more so about this era of blackface and comedy and stand-up? Because I know very little to none, and I don't really understand how it was funny.
Well, back then, I don't know how it was funny either. I've seen a couple of those Al Joseph videos, and I'm like, wow. Like, this dude was getting paid to being blackface and make fun of black folks, and he was killing it. And then they had it on the radio, too. So, but you can see it over the radio. But I forgot what that guy's name that did, I'm bad. I'm used to good with that, because I paid attention to every aspect of comedy. But it was they had a talk show on the radio. That was, I think, in 1930s, 1920s, 1930s, maybe, of a comedy team. And they weren't even black. It was the white guys doing the voice of, was it Skillet and Leroy? It was somebody else. And they did, they did something on the radio too. And they were supposed to be in blackface, they were on radio as well. I forgot the name of it. I'll get the name later though. But it's been around for a long time. We don't do that no more though. It's like, you know, that's not black folks thing going on with blackface, stuff like that. That's old school now. So comedy's in a whole different realm right now.
When you watch the videos, what did it actually depict? I'm gonna have to go back and maybe take a look at it myself. And shout out to Anonymous who brought it up, because I wouldn't, as far as comedy is concerned, I would have never even put this in the realm of comedy. But I guess in a sense, making fun of Black people, Black History Month, it goes hand in hand. So shout out to you. What did you see? Like, you said it wasn't funny, but what were there any jokes? What was it like?
Well, it was basically just a white guy in blackface, you know, imitating black people, and basically from his perspective, you know, what he thought black folks was, because everyone back then it was about stereotypes. So, you know, still is now, but it was like it was more like stereotypes back then. So whatever they thought what black folks did, that's what they thought was funny, and they just pretty much made fun of that. That's all they did. So. It's not nothing intellectual, like he was going up there talking about taxes, you know, credit reform or anything. He was just basically acting like he was a black guy, white guy, acting like he's a white guy on blackface. That's what it is. Making money, getting paid lots of money to do what he was doing.
So she has a piggyback question. Well, Anonymous has a piggyback question. Do you feel like there are any comedians today that are another form of blackface?
Well,
I don't understand that question, maybe.
No, I don't think. Me personally, no. And I've seen a lot of comedy. I've been all on the road. I've been from here, the East Coast, Midwest, down South, West Coast, what have you. Basically, he's saying, is any comics selling out? And I'm like, no, because there's only one comedian that's big right now, and it's so many other comedians out there right now, but you'll never know, because, you know, Hollywood only show you they give you one superstar every 10 years, whereas when Def Comedy Jam came out in 1991, it was a whole fleet of them. So now you don't get that anymore. Now it's just like they're back to 1980s again with the one comic and he's it, and there's no other comedian, and that's not true. It's a whole fleet of them. But you know, there's no television anymore, so you don't really get a chance to see that anymore. Like, you didn't have a Def Jam right now. We don't have a Comic View right now. So all you know right now is Kevin Hart, and that's it. But there's a whole fleet of other comedians that's hilarious, But until we get another situation on television again, that's all we're gonna do, go through again.
So I pulled up, this is the first, last, and only question I'm going to ask you about Kevin Hart. I saw that you and him were on a flyer together with, is his name Kool Red? Hot Red? Don't kill me. Yes, Red Grant. My apologies. I butcher everybody's name. How was it back then when nobody knew anybody's name? What was that feeling like? That feeling of traveling the country when Comic View was big. Like, you guys were made famous by Comic View. Comic View put many, many people on the map, which then went to acting. Some led to music. During this time, how was that for you guys? Were you guys were like rap stars?
Well, actually, it was more Def Jam that made people famous. Comic View kind of was already on. So if you take Def Comedy Jam, you was like the man. But if you take Comic View, it was called like, you take Comic View? Like, they made fun of it back then when it first came on. Like, no one took it serious. They didn't take Comic View more serious until, I think, a little bit later on. But you had to tape almost 10 times for people to recognize you on Comic View. Whereas Def Jam, you take one time, your whole career.
If you have any questions, just type them in.
Doing local shows and driving from here to there, and one appearance on Def Comedy Jam in '93, it was over. I'm on a plane. I'm flying from here to Chicago, California, Texas, everywhere, and it was dope. It was like like you said, we was like rock stars. It was different, but a lot of people wasn't ready for it. And some people weren't ready for it, and they just went to the next level. So it was fun. It was definitely fun, and we were making more money than we'd ever seen back then. So that was definitely fun. And then they got like I said, they showcased other comics that, like you said, you've never seen before. I never knew we had that many comics when I saw them. I never knew we had that many black comics running around. So it was a shock for everybody.
Do you think if we brought Def Comedy Jam back, if we brought Comic View back, if we held local and national, or had a show with, a series of comics, do you think that there's enough material? And I say material because, there's nothing new under the sun. Is there enough material out here to start a whole nother comedy revolution?
Pretty much. Well, yeah, first of all, I would have to say the most creative comic I've ever seen in my life. I stand by that. A comic from Chicago. I've never seen a whole state with so much creativity. Is ridiculous. So yes, I believe it would be. I definitely believe it would be. There's a lot of comics that have a lot to say, but as we said before, you wouldn't know because we don't get a chance to see them. So it would definitely be a lot to say. Some will be political, some will be just, talking about their hometown or themselves or what have you. There was a lot of comedy out there right now. Definitely a lot right now. It would definitely be enough to last about 3 or 4 seasons because there's a lot of new comics out right now. New, old comics that's old, they've been around that you probably didn't know is still doing comedy. Is great.
Well, now we know no one's half the battle. For those who don't know, we're currently on the line with Kool, Bubba Ice. You probably know him from Def Comedy Jam, Comic View. I know some of y'all under the age of 25 probably like, huh, what are you talking about? they don't know. Them babies don't know. What is the difference between a comic and an entertainer?
A comedian just tells jokes. An entertainer, which is myself, I do a little bit of everything. I can sing, I can do impersonations, I do jokes, I do everything. So that's the difference between a comic and an entertainer. A comedian just tells jokes. An entertainer does it all.
I wonder if you think people are too overly sensitive to handle some of the jokes that would come out if we had this proposed 3-season-long comic stand-up show.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely.
You got to speak it to
existence. People
existence.
get too sensitive right now where everything is offensive. So it's like you gotta
you can speak your mind, but you can't go too far. It's too sensitive. And I remember an era when you could say whatever you wanted. It wasn't about, offending anybody, but I think what you call it caught a lot of flack behind being over offensive with Dice Clay. That one had to be the most funniest thing in the world to watch people go on a rampage about a guy that was actually just a character. It wasn't even him. And he's portraying an Italian guy, and he's Jewish. So I'm like, how could you get offended when he's saying he's basically just being a character? That's not even him. But people just took that personal. Like, I remember he did Saturday Night Live, and he was like, oh, I'm not going to perform on the show. He's on the show. He's offensive. He's a comedian. Like, how is that offensive? He's a comedian. And it's like all Dice is, and who he has now is the new offensive comic is actually my boy Corey Holcomb. To me, he's like the 2016 Dice Clay, and people get offended at Corey shows, but it's hilarious to me because that's not how Corey is. It's just jokes. He's not serious, but people just take everything so serious nowadays.
If any of you guys have any questions, comments about the history of comedy, anybody who was on Comic View, anybody who knows anything, Def Comedy Jam, if you have any questions, we're currently on the line with Kool, Bubba, Ice. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you for your time. 617-282-0062. Or you can hit me up, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, every other social media site, TaylaAndre. Do you feel like people take you too seriously sometimes?
No, not at all. No. Mm-mm.
Never, ever, ever?
No, I'm silly. I'm my old stand-up back. I'm silly, so I don't have that problem. I don't voice my opinions on stage, because if I do that, I'll be just like you, ranting and raving. Hey, and you know, we need to do it.
Hey, don't come for me unless I send for you.
No, I'm not coming for you, but everyone has a little militant side in it on inside of them. So
did he just call me militant?
I come from two parents that was in the civil rights movement, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hold on, Kool, Bubba, Ice. We got caller ID. I know your government. Did you just call me militant?
Yeah. That's a good thing. I like that. It's not, they don't have that anymore on the radio. Everybody's scared, and they scared to say what they really want to say. And if you got the courage to go and say what you have to say, that's dope. I like that. Don't tap dance around it. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. And I think a lot of people on radio get comfortable. They get scared. I don't lose my job. And like, for what? You got to stay, because you have to stay how you feel. People want to hear the real anyway. They don't want to hear everything sugarcoat. Everything's great. Everything is not great right now. So if you're going to go out there and you got something to say, then say it. So I appreciate that you have a heart to go out there and say what you have to say. A lot of people won't do that on the radio.
Or in life, and I tackle both. We have a caller on the line now, 617-282-0062. We have questions coming in from Periscope as well as Facebook. Keep them coming, baby. Yes, you can remain anonymous. I will not say your name. Scouts Runner. 617-282-0062. Good rising, caller, you live.
Good morning. I was just going to say to the gentleman, I love comedy. But why is it seems like black comedians, with the exception of our the past, like Dick Gregory, it's not thought-provoking like a George Call or some of these others. Like, everything is profanity-laced and vulgar. Like, I never understood that. It seems like it leads to the stereotype that our idea of entertainment has to be, some type of form of coonery. Like this, do you think anyone besides Dick Gregory that used intelligence in his comedy? And, Bill Cosby.
Mr. Nubian, can I ask you a question? Do you have a question to ask?
Yeah, I was like, does he know of any other talent that I can look out for that is somewhat like a Dick Gregory in today?
Besides that, maybe Paul Mooney, but I think that's about it. First of all, it's okay to go on stage and put thought-provoking stuff in your stand-up. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem with that is that you're going to get people that's going to be, you're not going to get an audience. You'll get a few people, and that's unfortunately, that's sad because black folks will say, "Oh, we want more thought-provoking material," and then when you get it, you don't support it. So therefore, that person's gonna be sitting home doing nothing. You know, so it's like they want comedy. They don't want you preachy. They want you to do your thing. They want to laugh. They don't want to think about their problem. So if you go on stage and you start talking about what's going on right now, that's not funny. It's gonna make you want to, you know, get up and do something, you know. And comedy is more like to get your mind off of what's going on right now. Not to say it's not happening, it's happening, but it's like it's to get your mind off of things, get your mind off your bills, get your mind off the wife, get your mind off the problems you're having at your job, and that's what comedy is all about. What Dick Gregory is doing is dope, but you know, I watch Dick Gregory, but that's not comedy. He's keeping it real.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even comedy no more. Dick Gregory is speaking his mind, and Dick Gregory's been doing that for a long time. I saw an episode of Unsung, and I was sitting there with my mouth open on all the money he lost on stand-up because he really was into the movement, and I'm like, wow, like, could I have done that? And I'm like, no. He made so much money. I'm like, he lost so much money, but now he's getting it because he's getting paid for speaking engagements and stuff like that. But what you want to see is that's not comedy. What Dick Gregory doing is keeping it real. That's not. He put jokes in it, but Dick Gregory is just keeping it all the way real. And that's like wow. When I see him, my mouth hits the floor every time.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We have some more callers on the line, 617-282-0062. Do you think censorship has changed in the face of the country? Send that question again, maybe. You know it only pops up for 10 seconds. Bubba? Do you think censorship has altered throughout the years?
Yeah, it's really making comedy like you can't say certain words on stage anymore. You know, it's like, oh, you can't say that. You can't say the F word. I'm like, the F word. You know, like what?
What?
No, not the other F word.
Oh,
I'm talking about the other one.
About the cigarette F word?
There you go. There you go.
Hey, you just gotta be creative with it.
You're gonna get shut down. And I'm like, whoa, and you say that word, it's a wrap. They shut you down, they taking the show from you, everything. You can't even there. I heard something last night about I think a basketball player flipped out on somebody and said it, and they almost shot a stick. They almost suspended him for one game. They was that's not enough. I'm like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, they are up for it. They don't play that.
Are you serious? So for those who do not know, the F word he is in reference to in other countries means cigarettes. In this country, it represents a gay person. You're an adult. I'm an adult. If you don't get it by now, then baby, I like my job. I'm not going to say it.
Exactly. Really not. Shut it down. They don't play that word. They shut it down.
So we're going to go ahead and take some of these calls on the line. And I can't believe, but we have people on Periscope like, are you serious? Really? Over their word? Sensitivity. So censorship has changed comedy. Good rising, caller. You are live.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good rising, my queen. How are you?
How you doing, honey?
I'm well. How are you?
All right. I wanted to call to talk about this, to talk about how censorship has changed comedy or whatever. But I feel like it needed to change. Not needed to change, but I think some things need to come about because then if it does, then people would just be insulting other people and then and using censorship as far as like as an argument.
I don't understand. Was that a question?
No, it wasn't a question. I just I'll not answer your question, but I had a question. I had a question really to ask, or really just a statement to make. As far as like the people with the black faces, as far as like all the white comedians, with the black faces that with the fun of black people and things like that. Do I think there's still some kind of black faces? Some people that are in other forms of black faces are still making fun of black people on a different level. Yes, there is. But it's just I think black people don't really do too much about it.
If somebody call us the names or whatever, we make it a big deal for about a month or two, and then we let it go. And so people will still make fun of us, but we're not like the Taliban who, once you make a joke, these people, they go crazy. And so you rarely hear anything about them. People really actually watch what they say when you hear about them. I'm not saying we have to be a little bit more militant, but I think it might work. I just think that people need to step up a little bit. I don't know, do a little bit more vigilant when it comes to stuff that has to do with us.
Okay. So that wasn't necessarily a question, but she did have a comment that she strongly believed in, and I get it. I do. Bubba, you want to piggyback off anything?
No. I'm lost on that one too. That wasn't the question. That was more like an answer to a question. To answer the question. So I'm lost. But I mean,
that makes
this
all of us.
thing is bad, because when you get.
I'm sorry, baby. I did not understand your question. I did not get it.
Like even they have gotten a little weird. Like sometimes they don't want you to say the N word in the white comedy club, which is hilarious. But yeah, they'll even shut it down in there too. They don't play that. Like if you do like a one-nighter comedy club, they'll like it's cool, but you go up there and you go and then they're hey, we don't like that word here. And I'm like, wow, like back in the day it was no problem. Now it's like, you can't say that. I'm like, okay. Definitely funny now. It's definitely weird. We definitely in the censorship area where everyone's getting caught out there. Comedy clubs, comedy nights, everything.
Wow. And you know what? I recently attended a friend's corporate Christmas party, and I asked a DJ to play a song, and he's like, "Nah, I can't play that. I don't have the unedited version." I was like, "There's no children here." He was like, "They asked me not to play anything with the N word," and I was like, "What?" For them to request that you don't play, I'm like, well, what song can you play then?
Exactly, because they got it in every song. You got it in every version all day. Yeah, I've definitely heard that before, especially at Christmas parties. I've done a few Christmas parties before, and I'm like, wow, like they really cleaning it up. Like they can't even have a bunch of wild cursing in the songs. It's like, wow, this shit is everywhere now.
Yeah, we listened to Spanish music all night. It had cusses in it too, but we didn't understand.
Yeah, I'll probably know all the curse words in Spanish. That's what I'm saying. That's my thing. That's big talking growing up. So I know all the curse words in Spanish. That's it.
That's a question. That actually is a question. We have another question. Another call on the line. Shout out to both of the callers. Thank you for your patience. Good rising, caller, you live. It's you, baby. Good rising.
Good morning.
Hey.
Listen, I help me understand something. He's talking about when he goes in white clubs, they censor him, and most of the comedians. Well, why is Donald Trump allowed to say the things that he's saying?
This is why I mess with you, Miss G.
Say what they need to say.
So this is Miss G. Miss G come out of the cut and hit you with the okie doke every single time. That's why I mess with you, Miss G. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have an awesome day today. Go ahead, Kool Bubba Ice.
Oh yeah, you can talk about Donald Trump. I mean, they're not gonna. No,
she's talking about having the limitations that comedians, you guys supposed to have that free willy-nilly say anything, say everything. It's only comedy, but yet Donald Trump, who's running for president of the United States, isn't censored, but yet you're censored.
I mean, that's how it is. It's how it's always been. I remember when that thing happened with O.J. Simpson and people were going to comedy clubs trying to censor us from talking about the trial. I remember that was like, it happened yesterday. That was like 23 years ago. And I remember people going crazy in the club. Everybody had an O.J. Simpson joke and da-da-da-da. And I remember a comedy club in L.A. was like, oh, if you come on here talking about O.J., we're going to turn the mic off. I'm like, what? I thought it's freedom of speech, but it's not. It's not freedom of speech. It's going to be some censorship. People just get sensitive. But when you talk about Donald Trump, he gets to say what he wants to say. He's rich. He gets to say anything he wants. He's saying some things.
We're not on air.
Some America believes.
Mike is
off. Like, oh, he's right, and he's not right. But you know what? I don't know why
Send it
people
to me
get
on
scared
Facebook.
thinking he's gonna win. He's not gonna win. So please stop panicking about that whole situation. Every year we have a president race, it's always one guy that talks crazy and people, it looks like he's gonna win, but he doesn't. It's like that every year, and trust me, he's not gonna win. Another thing, like I said, but yeah, other than that, yeah, no. I mean, there's always going to be, he's rich. That's what he can say what he wants to say. Because he's rich, he's loaded, he makes money, so he can say what he wants to say.
Hey, Mitt Romney said you better take a look at that man's finances. Go take a that look at that man's tax return. Mitt Romney trying to tell us something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, he's not as rich as you think he is. He used to be, but not anymore. I found out some more stuff about Donald Trump. I was shocked. I'm like, well, I thought he was killing them on the money thing. Nah, not no more, dog. Not like he used to be.
So really quick before we take the next caller, do you get people that's like, oh, you that funny man, tell me a joke?
All the time. All the time. It's like, that's tradition. I get that all the time. You tell a joke, like, tell me a joke. Yeah. Like, no.
So what joke do you tell?
I don't tell jokes on you guys. I'm a more of a visual person. You gotta see me live. You gotta see me on stage. I don't tell. I talk about a little bit of everything.
So you just not gonna tell me a joke though?
I don't tell jokes. I do a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't do jokes like why does the monkey go? No, I don't do jokes like that. That's like old school, like type stuff like that.
So it's more so like a story that build up and then that crescendo.
Yeah, something more like that.
I got you.
Already necessary.
Hey, we got the edit button. Really quickly, who is your favorite impersonation?
Who's my favorite impersonation?
Yes, like who do you impersonate well?
Oh my God, I got a list of them. Shoot, I can do that all day, but at 6:44 in the morning, I'm gonna sound like Froggy. It's just like, ooh, he don't sound like Bernie Mac right there. Bernie Sampson, like, ooh, Bernie Sampson. I don't know, but hey, Bernie Mac. But that's all I do is impersonations. You name it, I do it. From Jay-Z, yo, for real. We trying to get this funny B&D, yo. We playing that, hey, for real. Balls is going down, baby. I mean, I do that all day long, impersonations. I got like 1,000 of them.
Lord hammer. Can you impersonate me?
Give me another day. I probably will be impersonate you. I can just give you a day. And I'll listen to you. I have you down fast.
My voice is kind of annoying. You might have to practice.
Not really. Give me a day. I had you down pat with no problem.
All right, call me tomorrow because I would love to hear your impersonation of me.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we could turn it into a drop. It's like, this is Tayla, Andre, 5 to 7. That'll be dope. Actually, that'll be a really good idea. I would appreciate that.
You got it. No problem. Give me about a day. I got you. You're like, how do you do it?
No. Yeah, I probably will. So let's go ahead. Vibe magazine just ran a story about how comedian actor Jamie Foxx thinks the Oscars so white issue isn't a big deal. What are your thoughts?
I haven't watched the Oscars since the late early 90s. I've been started watching the Oscars a long time ago. I just got tired of watching this. I call it the white show. I just don't watch
white show.
I have a black guy host it, but that's it, And then if you do win an Oscar, like you finished, you win an Oscar. I mean, it doesn't really matter, black or white. Once you win an Oscar, it's over. It's like your career usually tanks and hits the toilet because now you're gonna want all this money, and that's the one thing that's real about Oscars. That once you win an Oscar, I don't care if you're white or black, you're gonna your popularity is gonna kick up. You're gonna get more money, but you're gonna get less roles because everyone's gonna be expecting that you want so much money they can't afford you. So it happened to Monique. It didn't even happen to Lou Gossett Jr. When Lou Gossett Jr. won an Oscar, he caught hell. He didn't. I mean, it messed his career up. So anytime we win that award, it's like a curse. It's a gift and a curse. I mean, Jamie Foxx been able to still keep working, and that's good for him. But a majority of cats, it's over.
Anytime I think about the Oscars, the only thing I can think about is make me feel good. Make me feel good. That's the only thing I can.
Halle Berry, it didn't affect Halle Berry either. That's the funny part. Like usually it affects them from Denzel and Halle Berry, but I think that's that time they won. What happened that year? Was that the time of Katrina? What happened to Katrina? They all both of them won in the same night. I think that's the time when Katrina happened, and that's when both of them won.
And the roles weren't positive role model roles.
It never is. I mean, it never is. Every time a black person wins, it's never something positive. The only one that was positive was Luke Gossett Jr. when he won for an officer and a gentleman. Like he deserved that one. Like he played the hell out of that part. But even with that, after he got that out, that's the award. It was over. It was a wrap. He didn't work that much anymore. He sat home for a while. So it's not always like a, and then for Halle Berry, I mean, she wasn't playing a crackhead, she was playing a mom going through some hell. And I mean, she's did better stuff than that to get in the Academy Award, but that's how.
Hold on, not without Isaiah? She could have won for being a crackhead in the Isaiah movie when she wanted her son back. I think her role in that movie was amazing.
Yeah, that one, but hey, it is what it is. It's like after a while, they get tired of passing you up, and then they finally give it to you. And I think that's all it was, because they wasn't going to give it to Denzel for Malcolm X, and I thought he played the hell out of that part.
True.
And for the one, he played the boxer Fisher as well.
Yeah.
But he didn't get it for that one either. But they give it to him to play a bad guy and trade it there. I'm like, what? Like, that's not Oscar worthy. Like, he's no way for this stuff in that picture. But it was good, and it was like a twist because it was something that we weren't used to him playing. That's why that's why people flipped out about it. Because he always been a good guy.
My brother.
Soldier Story. I mean, if we're gonna take it way back, I know this. We watched this for instance the '80s. I'm like, he should have got that for a Soldier Story. If you're gonna go that far back, come on, like he's always played some amazing guys.
Love it, love it. We have another caller on the line, 617-282-0062. We're currently on the line with Kool, Bubba Ice. You've seen him on BET. You've seen him on Def Comedy Jam. And you probably saw him, if you over the age of 30, probably saw him in concert, live, face to face, and didn't even know it. And now he's here on air, Big City 101.3 FM. Waking up with Tayla Andre. Good rising, caller, you live. Hello, darling, it's you. Is that Reggie B?
Yes. Me.
Hey, Reggie B.
How you doing, sister?
I'm super fantastic. How are you?
I'm okay. I just woke up.
We can't hear you, Reggie. Take your phone or take your mouth away from the phone.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, last night was a long night and stuff like that. But I just want to say that you guys are talking about.
Okay, Reggie B, I might need you to go ahead and send me a text message or a Facebook message because your phone's messing up. Don't believe me, just go back to Mixcloud and listen to the show. As far as other questions are concerned, I have another question for you, Kool, Bubba Ice. Or Reggie B, give us a call right now. I'll pull you up on another line. As far as comedy is concerned, you said there's only one comic right now who's making any money, and he's on stage, he's in movies. You've also been in movies. What are some of the movies that you've been in, and which was your favorite movie to star in?
I've only been in a couple. Three Can Play That Game. That was at the movie theaters maybe a couple of weeks. The Hustle, Comedy Only in the Hood. Death of a Dynasty. So about four of those pictures. I think Three Can Play That Game was my favorite though.
Any particular reason?
No, just my favorite. I think I got more more lines in that one than I did the other three.
If I got more lines somewhere, that'd be my favorite too. More lines, more money.
Exactly, yeah.
So we were able to get Reggie B. I got you, Reggie. Go ahead. You're live, baby. Hey, Reggie.
I wanted to say that too. There was another movie that played a really good movie. And I don't know if it, if he ever got an Oscar for it, but it was the movie Glory, where he led, you know, an army of people, you know, to take over.
Reggie, I think it's your phone, baby. So we're just gonna. I don't think it's our lines. I think it's your phone. Kool, Bubba Ice. We're coming to the top of the hour. For people who want to see you, how can we find you? How can we see some of your work?
You just go on YouTube and you'll just click Kool Bubba Ice with a K. Now with a C with a K, and all my stuff will just pop up. Far as follow me on Instagram under Kool Bubba Ice with the K once again, and follow me on the Kool Bubba Ice on Facebook, which is gonna be hard because I'm already went over my friends limit. So basically, follow me on Instagram, and you're gonna see all kind of wild pictures I take when I'm on the road, and I usually post the flyers of where I'm going to be at, where I'm performing at next, and that's the best way to catch me, basically on Instagram.
I was about to say, because you have not been to Twitter since 2014.
Yeah, I got tired of all the fights and the arguments, and I was posting and nobody was hitting. I'm like, you know what? This ain't my thing. Like a lot of people on Twitter, I'm still on Twitter, but I barely, you know, do anything on it. But I'm working. I'm actually putting it back up again. So I'm gonna pull it back up again and make that stuff happen again. But I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter to the real Kool Bubba on Twitter. So I want to start posting on that again. Probably like by Friday. So you can follow me on that. Start following me now. But definitely follow me on Instagram. That's the one I'm on every day. Instagram, Facebook, and I'll be on Twitter by this Friday, definitely. So on Twitter again.
Okay, you promise? Because I'm about to tweet you.
All right, the real Kool Bubba on Twitter.
And your Instagram?
On Instagram, it's Kool Bubba Ice with the K.
And as far as we do have one more caller, 617-282-0062. Good rising, caller, you live.
What's up, Tayla?
Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to tell you what Reggie B was trying to tell you. It was about Glory, where Denzel plays an actor from a Maine regiment of all black, of course, all black men. It was the first regiment in the United States with all blacks, and it was an experiment, but it turned out so well because they never lost a battle during the Civil War.
You know what? I think I didn't watch the movie, but I do think I heard about it.
Movie, you should actually sit down and watch it one day. It'll make you go through some emotions, man. Because in reality, it's the same way they treat black people then is the same way they treat black people now. There's no difference.
So Glory. I'll make sure I put that in my Netflix queue.
All right.
Thank you, baby. Love it. Appreciate you.
You too, and you're doing pretty good, man. I do be listening to you. I just don't call in.
Hold on. This sounds like somebody I know, though.
But maybe you know, you'll think about it later.
No, I think I know who it is, though.
You'll call me when you break down. Put it that way.
I know who. Yes, I was right. I always do call you when I break down.
Good rising, baby.
Thank you. For those who do not know, that is Nate's truck in tow. If you ever need a tow, please give Nate a call. Nate, while we're talking about your tow company, I just need 10%, just throw me a little something on the side. We're good. Kool Bubba Ice. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. Tell us a joke. He said, I don't tell jokes. That's not how I get down, but I'll do impersonations all day. Can you leave us with an impersonation?
It is burning back. Somebody take my butt on back down on the bed. Oh my, I'm on the pool. And this is dead in the morning.
Let me ask you, hold on, last question. How much do you miss that man?
A lot. Like that changed comedy right there, boy. His passing definitely changed comedy. He had a lot more to do before he passed on. Definitely.
I still, to this day, get emotional when I think about Bernie Mac. He was just
hilarious. Yeah, we almost died together too one night.
hold on, what? Hold on, this was a story you could have shared, Bubba. Why you didn't share it?
Oh, girl, I got 27 years of stories. Me and Steve Harvey, all kinds of stuff. I got a gang of stuff. It'll take you 3 hours to interview me about Black comedy. 3 hours.
So I think that sounds like a challenge for my Cosby people. Let's have you back, Kool Bubba Ice, because I want to hear some of these stories, and that way we can have some comedy, some laugh, and some history all at the same damn time.
No problem, sweetheart.
Once again, I want to give a shout out to Kool Bubba Ice. Thank you for your time. I want to give a shout out to Nikki for helping to produce today's show. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of the listeners, all of the YouTubers. Again, I apologize. I'm at about 55, 65%. We almost there. We almost at 100. You know, when you playing video games, it's like, poo-shoo, poo-shoo. You just losing energy. That's me right now. So we gonna get right. So slowly but surely. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm having technical difficulties over here, so I'm going to just pretend like I'm DJ Sus1. You know what it is. DJ Sus1, the feature presentation. When I'm in Boston, I listen to Wake Up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversation leading to universal consciousness. That's the type of stuff I'm into. Let's go. How'd I do? Yeah, that was horrible. But you get the point. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have an awesome day today. Big City. Good rising. Good rising. Mwah. Ooh, ooh.
She's like,
Good rising. Good rising. Thank you. One of these days, I'm going to look like me. I'm going to look normal, healthy. But until that day, I love you. I appreciate you for tuning in, and share with your friends. TaylaAndre. If you want to just listen to the audio instead of watching, there's over 442 shows on Mixcloud.com. TaylaAndre. Thank you.